Something's with the car. So he pulls over, and he pulls over by the Botanical Gardens. You know, he pulls over on a side street. Now, in my mind, I'm going, nah, can't be, right? So he gets out of the fucking car, opens up the fucking hood, and he's standing there with his hand on the hood like this, looking down at the engine. I wait 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I go, what the fuck's he doing? So I get out of the car. I go, hey, Mike, what's going on? He goes, could I blow you? I went, what? He goes, could I blow? I said, what the fuck? I said, are you fucking crazy? And this was a tough fucking guy. I said, oh my, I said, what the fuck I'm gonna do? I said, this guy might kick my fucking ass and force me. So I said, hey, pal, take me the fuck home. I said, no, just get, he goes, oh, I swear to God, I'm sorry, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. He goes, just get back in the car, I'll drop you off up there. I get back in the car, he goes, listen, don't just tell anybody. I said, all right, I couldn't write this. I'm getting out of the car, right? He goes, Chaz, please don't tell nobody. I said, I won't. He goes, I'm sorry, man. He goes, there's only two things I like to do in this world, fight and suck. I said, all right, Mike, well, listen, man, I appreciate that. Thanks for telling me that. I got out of the fucking car. I couldn't write a scene like that. What are the fucking odds that? And he was a tough guy, but he was gay. He was, but nobody would say nothing because I said, I ain't telling nobody. And I didn't until finally it came out. Everybody knew that.
Oh, my God. Since you said something before, I want to ask you to see what you're hearing, because I just caught the tail end of it. What is going on with Mikey Franchise and Sammy?
What is what?
What's going on with Mikey Franchise and Sammy?
And Salmon. No, I don't.
Sammy.
Oh, Sammy.
They're at war.
Yeah.
Something happened. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened, but I did this thing with him. But I wasn't in the middle when they were there. But I heard they just had some bad words with each other. I don't know. I don't know what happened because I wasn't there when they filmed it. But I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's been on a lot. They've been fighting.
I don't know what it's about. I just saw a clip that Sammy said, and that was it. Sammy's doing a good job with the podcast. Yeah. I know he would. He's a good storyteller.
Yeah, he is a good. It's real is real.
Yeah, he's real. He's a real dude. So I'm happy that he's doing a podcast. I think he's shooting a movie.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, and this is truly a guess, I think there's some animosity between them because Sammy feels like he's a gangster, and Michael was a racketeer. Where it was a difference, where Michael, you know, so I think there's some resentment there. I could be wrong, so I really don't know really what happened. But I don't know Sammy. I never met Sammy, but I know Michael really well. In fact, him and I are going to do a podcast together, our own podcast, aside from my own. But he's just a fucking great guy. I love the guy, and I think he's a stand-up guy, man. He really is, man. And he's a great storyteller. Great storyteller and real smart. And, you know, he's really like a guy who gives his heart. He's a born-again Christian, comes from a great family. Like you said, 24/7, you see a man, how he operates, how he lives. And I see how he lives. You know, he talks the talk, but he walks the walk, man, this guy. So, again, I don't know what's going on between them, and I can't speak for Sammy because I don't know Sammy at all. But I know Michael, and Michael is just a great guy. Just a stand-up, solid guy, man. Definitely. But it's kind of weird, Joey. Do you find that weird? I mean, you got to admit it, Joey. You have a podcast, I have a podcast. Sammy the Bull, 19 Murders, has a podcast. I mean, do you find, I find that, do you, like, wow, like this country, no matter what you do, you got a shot to make it somehow. Think about that.
He did his time.
He did his time.
He did more than enough time.
Yes.
He did time for his son and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Sammy, he's fucking very smart.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Oh, if you read those, did you read his book?
No, I did not.
If you read his, I mean, listen, a situation arose where I was thinking of doing a podcast with Sammy.
Right.
And then I had to think about my world. And I think about the people. I mean, people have forgotten about it, but some people haven't.
That's what I heard. Is that true?
And, well, you know, it's just some people feel like, you know.
Right.
And how good, when my mother died, the Italians were there for me. I can't tell you how many times. So in my heart, I felt like if I did a project like that, I would spit in the faces of the people who helped me, because that's their culture and that's their beliefs, and that's the only reason why I wouldn't do it.
Really?
I think Sammy ratted, but I think he had his reasons why he ratted. It wasn't the first thing on his mind. I think he was a real wise guy.
Oh, no question.
I think that everything was played against him for him to rat. But, I was in the roofing business, and a construction tin cost $200 in Colorado. A construction tin in New York, the same tin cost $2,000. And that was because of the mafia tax. That's, nobody could build anything in 1985.
Right.
They didn't talk to Sammy. John Gotti was the boss of the Gambinos, but nothing got done. The guy ran construction projects. I talked to an FBI guy at jiu-jitsu, and he's going to find out from me. When I told him, his face went white. He's never going to tell me the truth. Sammy was so businessy that part of his deal was the feds collecting his loan shark payments.
Really?
They'll deny it. Everybody will deny it. But people in Brooklyn will tell you.
I believe it.
For about 6 or 7 months.
I believe it.
That's how much of a businessman he is.
I believe
that.
They
paid off the juror. He's the one that told them.
That's true.
To pay him in segments, because the guy can slip on his neck and break his neck, and we already gave him $60,000. Why do that? Let's pay. He's a very good money guy.
So you can actually say he was a gangster and a racketeer. Yeah. I mean, you actually could say that. Yeah.
He had a company for everything. A construction company, a painting company. He had a construction, and then what he'd do is, again, this is Sammy. He'd blossom the business. He'd give you a shot. Sammy, let's open up a paint store.
Right.
The place starts making money, you're dead. He ain't paying you. So he killed most of his partners. Most of those 19 people were partners.
No way.
Architects. Anybody who did something for him, he iced. He iced DB, DiBedetto. That guy owed him $200,000. That guy owned all the tire shops.
So he would kill his partners.
He would kill his partners. And then take the business.
That's not too cool, Joey.
Fucking killed his brother-in-law.
That's right.
He killed his fucking brother-in-law.
And I heard he said when he was in the coffin, I remember that. I saw that podcast. He said, "Look what you made me do, you motherfucker."
And then supposedly he cut the hand off, so he couldn't find the body. And one day he was in the house, and the dog brought the hand in from the backyard. And he killed his wife's brother over money.
Wow.
He fucking, he did so many things. Like, he was on the outs with Paul Castellano for a long time.
Wow.
Because he was fucking icy. He killed the people from the casino. What's that place in Brooklyn? You remember it.
Gemini?
No. The Plaza Lounge.
The Plaza Lounge.
He shot the guy in the eyeball. The guy came in, paid him the $3 million. He was going to take over the club. Sammy killed him before he could take over the club. I'm telling you, the guy was a fucking... But what happened was, like, when he went into the FBI, a lot of people don't know about this. He went into the FBI and he ratted. And he ratted so well. He was so articulate.
Yeah, they said that.
Even though he was retarded. No, he's not retarded, but even though he's got, like, dyslexia.
Right.
He was so professional. They fell in love with him. So people would come in that wanted to turn, and they go, yeah, me and Sammy did this. And they look at each other and go, get him out of here. He's lying. That's how much they love Sammy. So 10 people flipped and would say, I sold drugs with Sammy, and they go, get him out of there. Sammy never sold drugs. And then it was finally they got together and they go, dog, how can 11 people walk in here and say they were moving Quaaludes with Sammy? So they had to go back to Sammy.
Oh,
and how they nailed Sammy was the last time was the Iceman. The Iceman made those tapes.
Right.
And he said, he goes, one time Gravano came up to me to kill a cop. When he signed with the FBI, they said, the only way we'll take you is if you didn't kill a cop. Have you killed a cop or a sanction?
He did kill a cop?
He paid somebody to kill a cop.
Wow.
In Bergen County.
Wow.
So, yeah. So Sammy was a smart dude, and I think the podcast will do great.
Well, because people will look at that. People, his podcast does do great.
He's a great storyteller.
He put
it on Patreon. I think he's shooting a movie.
Right.
Anybody, listen, the great thing about this country is everybody gets a second chance. I got locked up.
Yeah.
I thought my life was dead. You get a second. If you really want it.
If you really want it, I agree
with you. You make
a
mistake. Mike Tyson made a mistake. Let's talk about Mike Tyson.
Oh, let's
This
talk
guy
about
didn't punch a guy in the face.
Right.
This guy didn't beat up bikers in the Bronx. This guy raped a woman, okay? Have you ever seen Mike when he gets on a plane? The first people taking pictures of him are white women. If you see Mike in an airport, everybody loves Mike.
Yeah.
Everybody loves
Mike.
Yeah. Everybody loves Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
This guy did one of the worst things you could do in life, rape.
Right.
We live in a country.
He came back.
He came back. You have to come back, you know, arm, what's that expression? Your arm and your fucking, you know, be humble. And, you know, Michael Vick, kind of. They're still mad.
Kind of,
you know, kind of. He fucked with white people's main thing.
Dogs. You don't do that.
Don't do that.
But Mike Tyson came to see my one-man show, Joey, and he cried.
I believe it.
Chuck Zito brought him.
Yeah, I believe it.
He cried. And he brought him again. And he came over to me, and one thing I got to say about Mike, and I met Mike a bunch of times, and he said to me, you know, you really inspired me to do that, to do a one-person show. And nobody said this to me. A lot of people have said that when they saw my show. They say, you inspired me to do it. Nobody ever fucking does it. They say it, nobody ever does. One of the hardest things in the world is to write a one-man show.
Yes,
you know that. All of a sudden, I hear he's doing it. He goes on fucking Broadway. Spike Lee's directing it. I see the show. It's fucking great. And I said to him, I always told him, I said, let me tell you something, Mike Tyson. You fucking did it. I respect you more for that than even all your fights, because nobody could fucking do what you did. He said he was going to do it. He wrote it. He put his heart out there. Videos, custom audio, all his life. It was fucking great. It was great. And he did a great job, man. And he did it. I respect the guy.
I love him to death.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
I like the guy a lot,
and
man.
this country's good with that. Like now that they've implemented cancel culture.
Right.
And I don't even respect it. You know, you have Mike Tyson. He went in front of a judge.
Right.
A judge sentenced him. I went in front of a judge. He sentenced me.
Right.
Who the fuck are you to sentence me? Who the fuck are you to sentence me?
Right.
You can't judge me. When the fuck? And the people that are doing it are people that are saying they're woke. So you're woke, but you don't believe in a second chance.
I believe in a second chance.
You got to take everything from a guy and make him embarrassed because you say a girl 12 years ago. Now I sympathize for her. I have a daughter. I understand.
Absolutely.
But you can't come back from 20 fucking years ago. There's a different time. We don't know what's going on. Well, Chris Knott walked into a restaurant. He grabbed my ass. He was Chris Knott, bitch. He was on Sex and the City. I'm sure you didn't smile at him or nothing.
But why would you... See, what bothers me is I don't like you come back 15, 20 years ago. I mean, because I think about when I was single. Okay, I didn't do anything like that. But when you're a single guy, you come on to a girl. As long as you do it like a gentleman, well, he was inappropriate what he said. I was fucking coming on to you. I was fucking 22 years old. What the fuck you want from me?
Now, time out. He was inappropriate what he said. Now, ladies, how many guys come up to you on a daily basis and say, can I have your number? And you're like, I'm flattered, but I don't want to. Or, hi, can we go out on a date? And you're flattered, but you don't want to. Don't you want a guy to come up to you and say, because I'm no handsome guy, but whenever I said this line, it was to go. First man who talks loses. How about we go back to my place? I got a gram of Coke and I'll suck your fucking uterus out. You don't say nothing after that. You just look at the bar and you turn around and walk.
Jesus.
If they follow you, you got to hit her. If they don't follow you, everybody goes their own way.